Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the GamerVerse 2-pack, Target Exclusive, Psylocke versus Thanos. Before anybody asks, I did not get this in store. There is a street date for July 20th. So if you were watching this video shortly after it goes live, this is Saturday, July 19th. My pre-order was delivered. I got it Friday afternoon or whatever. When I got home from work, it was already delivered. So it is my online pre-order that I got. You cannot go into stores and get it today because of the street date register block. So I will have a link in the video description below to the online listing for this 2-pack. So you typically Saturday night, the day before the street date, around 11 p.m. Pacific time, usually the orders then become available so you could do the store pickup and all of that good stuff. So I will have a link to this 2-pack in the video description below. If you are worried about not getting this and you really want to get it, I highly recommend being at Target when it opens. I've seen some people make comments on like my Reels and TikTok videos are like, I'll never show up at Target at 8 a.m. looking for a figure. All good, ain't nothing wrong with not. But if you really want to get the set, like that's what I would recommend. Like that to get the best opportunity, that's what you should do, because people are going to do store pickup, and sometimes Target doesn't get to those right away. So when the store opens, people are then able to go in and get it. Now, at the same time, if you go in there, do not expect this to be on the shelf. It's likely still going to be in the back. Just because the street date is lifted doesn't mean it's going to be readily available on the shelf. You may have to provide them with the DPCI, which I think is 087262726. I could be wrong on that. But here's a barcode. Screenshot that, have them scan that barcode, and then hopefully they have it in the back and can get it for you. But you will be able to actually purchase it because the street date will be lifted and you won't be stopped at the register and they yank it out of your hands, because that happens every time. So that's all the background information. Now let's go ahead and get into the figure. So GamerVerse. So they can't say Marvel versus Capcom or anything like that because they don't have the licensing for that. But they have the licensing for the whole Marvel aspect of things. So that's what GamerVerse is. This is the fall anniversary type program. So they're focusing on GamerVerse. It seems to be a big push with Marvel and Disney. We got an SH Figure Art Cyclops that's coming. That's just kind of crazy that we're getting a comic style figure from SH Figure Arts. It is a video game figure, so that's how they kind of skirt around that, because SH Figure Arts is, TV, movie, and gaming, but not comic. Unless they've done a comic and I'm just completely unaware, I don't think they have. So Psylocke versus Thanos. Pretty cool. Psylocke is like all new, super articulated body. Very excited for that. Thanos is a little bit of a reuse, so I will compare him to the previous deluxe Thanos that we got. There are some differences, obviously, because they have to make this video game inspired. We get some awesome artwork on the side, so you get a big old close-up of Psylocke there, and we see the figure in kind of the fighting pose there. Same goes for Thanos. There on the back of the package, we just kind of get that video game versus screen there. So we got Psylocke and Thanos. And then I just noticed this. It says, Wolverine, Silver Surfer, War Machine, Omega Red. Those are the other 2-packs that are going to be available as part of this program. So there we go. Let's open it up. I'm excited. Let's take a look. Okay, so here we have Psylocke and Thanos out of the pack, and you know what? I kind of had to fudge some stuff because Psylocke is tiny compared to Thanos. Like, we're level. So I have her on a riser just to kind of raise her up, because otherwise, look how low she is. But that was the beauty of the game. You could have these large characters, and you could have these small characters, and you could just fight it out. And whoever the best button masher was won. Well, at least that's how I played when I was young. I was a button masher. I didn't get the strategy and all this and that. And I probably still don't as much. I try to be better. I do have the game on Nintendo Switch. I got it for Father's Day. My kids got me that Marvel Fighting Collection game, which is freaking awesome, by the way. I love it. So yeah, that's kind of what was going on there. But this Psylocke figure is so good. The Thanos is whatever, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, it's cool. It was just an extremely easy figure for them to release because it's mostly a repaint. The difference in Thanos is you get a new head sculpt and you get this new shoulder armor shield thing. Other than that, it's a complete repaint. So this was so easy for them to do. It very little tooling cost went into Thanos. It all went into Psylocke. So I'm good with that. If we got to get a repaint of something like this to get this, cool. We should just get this on its own. But if you pair the two, it's like, okay, well, all right. But Psylocke is just so damn good. And then a bunch of people may have played as Thanos and love Thanos and want to get Thanos. So people also get their Thanos. But Psylocke is really, really amazing. So going over accessories, Thanos don't come with much. He comes with the snap hand, and that's it. You can see the infinity gems on there are painted quite nicely. They get a metallic color this time. So if you look at the comic Thanos, you can see the difference in color there. The metallics look really nice. They shine quite nicely. And then, you know, I'll do comparison later. The gold versus like more of an orange color this time. Psylocke has a couple of things. So she's got two heads. So she's got like the angry head, and then she's kind of got the mad faced head. So angry and she mad. And then she comes with extra hands. So out of the package, she has a, I think it was a fist. I can't remember which hand was on there now. But she's got a fist for her left. She's got the two, I put the wrong damn finger on that one. Hold on. Wrong hand. Okay. This whole time, I didn't even know I even took pictures. I got to retake my pictures now. So those are the hands that she comes with. So for her left, she's got these hands. So she's got a fist for her left. She's got a wide open hand for her left, and she's got the two finger hand for her left. For her right, she's got a grip hand, and then she's got that two finger hand. So she only has two hands for her right. She's got three for her left. Then we get kind of her psionic sword thing that clips onto her wrist. Let's see if I can. Do I have to? I don't have to remove the hand to do it. So you got that, so she can go in for the attack on Thanos. And then she's got this piece, that kind of that butterfly psionic energy piece. It kind of works like sunglasses. I'll have to get in for a close look on it, exactly how this will kind of clip on her face, and if it even works with this one, because this one's kind of weird. I'll have to take a look at that. But she's got that goes onto her face. And then she comes with these different energy effects. And these things are pretty awesome. Like, look at them. They're done in this, like, pinkish, hot pink, like, translucent plastic. And it's really cool. And you can see it looks like this is going to clip onto her hand, there onto her wrist, which is nice. It's kind of dual layered, as you can see, which is really cool, too. So, you know, you got some separation in there. And then these kind of overlap. So that is really cool. But we also get two of them. They look to be the exact same. Color-wise is slightly different, but that's just maybe in the manufacturing process. But they are the same. They are... Ooh, are they different? Yeah, they actually are different. Oh man, it's such a minor difference, but they are different. So if you notice... Here, right here, you can see that it curves in. We do not have that on this one, because again, it's got like dual layers. So one's, you know, right, one's a left. So they're similar, but they are not completely the exact same. They are similar though. Like, so, I mean, they're different, but they're so close to being the same that you probably will. You probably won't even notice. And then this one, I don't know if this is actually meant to be or if it just kind of got stuck together on mine. But these two pieces... Oh, yeah, it must have just got stuck together because I just yanked it off. Are the lengths the same? Yeah, the lengths seem to be about the same. And see, this piece here is longer than this piece there. So, again, very minor differences, but they are different. So that's cool. So let's go ahead and get in for closer looks at these different head sculpts for Psylocke. Alright, so taking an up-close look at Psylocke, we get the two different head sculpts in here, and both of these head sculpts, again, look really, really nice. You can see here, she kind of looks mad, but she's not kind of, you know, showing a crazy amount of emotion, because, again, you got that, like, angry one where she's showing her teeth and everything like that. Looks really good. She has black hair with purple highlights. So, black hair, purple highlights, which I think looks good, as opposed to the ones where we kind of got in the past where it was either black or it was purple. Not really in between, unless I'm misremembering when it comes to Psylocke figures. No, yeah, well, I guess this one was kind of black with purple highlights. Okay, so yeah, this one was. There was a lot of purple. It was kind of a darker purple, so it kind of mixed in a little bit more. This one's a little bit of a brighter purple, and you can see on the ends a little bit more purple. But it looks good. Looks really good. Let's go ahead and pop that one off. You can see there, the big, huge ball peg there for the head. You could, like, huge hole for the neck. But I guess that allows for a little bit of movement, like downward, but not a whole lot either way. And then here is the angry head sculpt. This one I think looks better. They're both pretty awesome, but this one she has the flowing hair, and then you could see they really painted it the same in terms of the highlights, and then kind of the tips being solid purple in there. The rest of the figure, Looks really, really good. So we get some new sculpted pieces. Probably going to be all new. The forearms may be reused or something. Maybe the lower legs. I'm not really sure. Upper legs are definitely newer. As she has these leg wraps that are sculpted in there and painted. And then they hid the thigh swivel right here at this solid color one, which is cool. But then when you bend the leg, it's like, you know, obviously human leg isn't completely round, so, you know, that makes sense that it's like that. So it can look a little ugly, but hey, that is pretty cool that they hid the swivel, so it's not as noticeable where you might see it break in the skin tone. So that is really cool. And the arms, you could see that they used blue plastic and then they painted the skin tone. So they did an okay job on the skin tone. Like you could see some of the blue kind of bleed through in some areas, especially like on her shoulders. You could really see it there, whereas all the skin tone in these other parts, like this shoulder ball and then the butterfly, is actually the skin tone, and then the rest is painted blue, which is causing some paint rub. So if you look up under here, under her underarm, that's all blue plastic, and then they painted the skin tone, so it's just kind of rubbing and causing a little bit of paint to kind of come off there, which is a little unfortunate. It's not terrible or anything like that, but just a heads up, it's happening. Same here. You can see the sculpted detail of her suit. I don't want to focus on that too much, but then you can see like some of the blue kind of bleeding through the skin tone, so you want to be careful not to scratch that or anything like that, because then you'll really start to see blue paint there. But that is Psylocke, and she is awesome. Thanos, we may have to make some adjustments here on Thanos to get a better look at him. There we go. There we go. Now we got Thanos there. The head sculpt on Thanos looks awesome. Very menacing. You get this nice dark purple for his face, red eyes, and a nice eyeshadow around there. His lips are darker purple, and then you get these nasty looking teeth with a little bit of gum showing. Really, really nicely done on that digital print. That is very nice. Here's a close-up look at that Infinity Gauntlet with that metallic gemstones. They just came out looking so nice. So much better than the comic counterpart there. And then the rest of the figure is the same Thanos. The shoulder pad armor piece is different. As you could see with the comic Thanos, you know, this was like a gold strap around that shield as part of his suit. They didn't paint it. It's just all blue because, you know, in the game it wasn't that way. But again, the figure is completely, you know, reused, just not that shoulder piece and not the head sculpt. So not a whole lot else going on for him. He really doesn't have any paint anywhere else. There may be some shading. Okay, yeah, there's some shading in some of the muscle definition in here, and it looks like maybe they did a little bit here in the muscle crevices. Definitely nothing on the back. Nothing, it looks like, on the arms, maybe. I think it's just kind of up in here on the muscle definition, and then right here in the thighs they did a little bit of paint. So at least there was something there. The orange that they used for the gold, it has it's very shiny, and if you take a close look at it, it's got a glittery look to it. Like, I don't think that's going to come off in camera very well unless I look bright light into it. Maybe it can. It's hard to tell in my viewfinder. But there's a little glitteriness to it, which is pretty cool to bring it out to give it some kind of metallic shine, although the color of itself doesn't lend to that very well. But there we go. Thanos and Psylocke. Let's jump into the articulation. Okay, so Psylocke's articulation, because she has long hair, she is not going to get to look up. There's just no way to make that happen. She can look down, as you can see there, so you get that much down. You get a full rotation in there, and you can do some pivot in the neck, so that is pretty good. You just can't get her to look up. The arm, you can get the shoulder to go straight on out, like so. You get a full rotation in there. We get the butterfly joint, and that arm... These arms can go back very far. That is awesome. This is how butterfly joints should work. Lately, Hasbro's been kind of not doing that as much, and it's a little frustrating, but these ones came out very nice. You can even see a little bit of gap in there. That doesn't bother me at all if means we get this much movement in that butterfly joint. And then coming forward, you can get some crossbody in there, but it doesn't go too much forward, but again, some crossbody in there. You do have an upper bicep swivel right at the base of the shoulder ball there, right above the strap, to give it a clean look, which is good. You get a double jointed elbow, gives you that much bend at the elbow. Yes, they are pinless. Wrists. Here's the thing on the wrists. The fist and the open hand are the only ones with the standard horizontal hinge. The two finger hands are vertical hinge. And then the grip hand is also a vertical hinge. So they went with the right hands, I would say, there, which is good. Now, super articulated body, we have the diaphragm cut and the inverted ab. So the diaphragm, she could tilt to her left a little bit. She could tilt to her right a little bit there. She can lean back with just the diaphragm a little bit, and then coming forward with the diaphragm is really not a whole lot at all. But that's where the inverted ab comes in. So she can crunch forward that much there. That's better than most we would get, and then she can lean back that much there, which is good. And then you get a swivel at that diaphragm cut there. Legs go out that far apart, which is good. She can kick forward that far. Very nice. Her leg does not go back because there is a piece of that body that is completely stopping it. You got a mid-thigh cut swivel. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. No boot swivel or calf swivel. Foot hinges down all the way. You get some good hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. In my opinion, I think we need to get to the point where all female figures are like this, using the super articulated body, because this is very nice. And she just feels very sturdy because she's got thicker legs, which makes it easier for these figures to be able to stand up and not fall over and everything. So very, very good figure there. Thanos. Thanos' articulation. Thanos can look up somewhat. He can look down a little bit there. The arms, you can... Very stiff on his shoulder, by the way. You can get the arm to go out that much there. You can do a full rotation in there. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you very little bend at that elbow. Like very, very little bend. Very little bend at the elbow, unfortunately. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands. We get an ab crunch on Thanos, but it doesn't really work well. Like that crunching down that much, but then he won't hold that position, which is odd. Going back, though, he's got ratcheting clicks. I don't know why coming forward he doesn't. Although, I guess... I would say that straight up. Yeah, you just can't really get him to crunch down, unfortunately. There is a waist swivel in there, too. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far there. The leg doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. No boot swivel. Oh, you know what? These are different boots. I just noticed that. They are different boots, so we weren't completely, reused. My bad. So there is a little bit of a difference. No boot swivel on the comic Thanos either, but no boot swivel, so that's not going to happen. Foot hinges down a good amount. You get a little bit of hinge up, not a lot. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So Thanos doesn't move around a whole lot, but typically these big characters don't. And then there's a little less reuse than I thought. So new boots, new feet, new head, and new shoulder shield armor piece. Okay, so kind of going back to this because I kind of forgot. This butterfly effect here for her face, it's only going to work on this head sculpt. Because of the hair is too close on either side, it's just not going to be able to hold in place. And then that little behind the ear loop does not go behind her ear. There's a kind of cut in the hair, which kind of, it just sets in there. To be honest, it's not a real sturdy fit. And then this side looks like it should kind of clip around something or kind of settle in something, unless I'm just not figuring it out. It just kind of sets there, and that's kind of it. Sometimes it just wants to fall. I'm not getting it in there quite right. So just, you have to just kind of be careful with it. But there we go. That's how that looks there. But looking at these pieces, I don't know if I got to do... Let's see, it just clips onto the wrist. So I would say that's not going to be the one. This should be the one here, probably. Let's see, clip the wrist. No, that's not it either, or does it matter? Hold on, let me see. Could you just do it without? I mean, maybe, but that probably wouldn't be right. Right? That doesn't... Hold on, let me figure that out. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out, and because, again, there's kind of the C-clip type of deal in there, and then the hand in there, and then to get the finger inside the fingers inside the energy effect, it just kind of forces it and bends it in a weird way. So like that C-clip, because clearly it's a C-clip in there, right? Like that's made to go around her arm. it doesn't really work. It's not very effective, if I'm being completely honest. It's actually quite frustrating to get that clipped around her arm and then bend the finger in a way that it goes in there, because then if you get the fingers in there and then you kind of bend the hand, because the wrist is a vertical hinge and not a horizontal hinge, it won't bend the wrist. So it's kind of weird how that's worked, but I'm trying to get it in place to make it look good. Okay, so bottom line, they don't really fit on there, and it is a bit awkward. If you look at like the promo images, they didn't kind of do any particular way. They even used like one of the grip hands to kind of just hold on to it. So you can just kind of clip around the arms, and then it just you don't really kind of tuck in the fingers. So you can kind of do it any which way you want to kind of have some fun with it, but that's what we got going on. Okay, and then here we have kind of that energy sword there on her hand. That looks pretty good. I think this is the same one that we've probably gotten in the past before, but it works out quite nice. All right, Thanos is a bit of a brick. Like, I'm having a hard time kind of posing him around just because he's very limited in what he could do. You can kind of get him ready to fight, and then you could do a little bit of drop kick type stuff. But I mean, he is difficult to really get to pose around, really, because he has the Infinity Gauntlet snap finger. Like, that's like what to do, because the articulation is pretty limited on him. I think I forgot to talk about the wrists, but all the wrists. No, I did talk about it. They have the vertical hinge, but the standard horizontal hinge. I mean, but they don't move real well. So it's kind of difficult. So this is what you got with Thanos. It's like, okay, boom, I'm gonna do my snap, and that's kind of all he could do. All right, so let's do some side-by-side comparison. So here we've gotten a couple of Psylocke figures kind of over the years. We have an X-Force Psylocke, we have the other Psylocke, we've got the blue and gold team Psylocke, and then we now have this new one, which is obviously clearly the best because old female figures just weren't great. So these two, we're not going to talk about. We're just going to get them out of there because they're not great. This one was good because this one was pinless and everything like that, but it's not our classic suit Psylocke. So this is the one that is the clear winner. Now, in terms of comparisons to Thanos, let's say, we've got the old comic book Thanos, not even that old, and then now we have our GamerVerse Thanos, so you can see the comparison there. But we're talking GamerVerse, and I didn't bring out a whole lot of figures, because I just hate grabbing figures out of the display and then having to put them back and having to clean it all up and do all this and that, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. It just really is. So we got this War Machine. I know we're getting another one, but this to me was the video game War Machine. Why we're getting that other one, I don't really know. Blackheart, which people are probably even more mad about that if they didn't get it to build Blackheart, because he's also kind of you can consider him a GamerVerse figure if you wanted to, but he was in the games. Let's see if I can make it work in there. He's leaning back a little too much. And then we throw our Psylocke in there. We can put Thanos a little bit more to the side. And we've got some GamerVerse figures going on there. We got some dust on Marrow. And I can't get her to stand. Stand up. All of a sudden I can't get Psylocke to stand either. I don't know what's going on. So there we go. So we have some Marvel figures. But if you really want to have some fun with it, let's check out some other characters. Alright, so we can mix in some Jada Toys figures. So we got Street Fighter and we've got Mega Man to do the whole Marvel versus Capcom thing. They scale pretty well together, kind of focus a little bit more so on Chun-Li and Psylocke. As you can see, Psylocke is quite a bit taller, actually, kind of towering over here. But I think they fit in well with each other, and Jada Toys makes some really nice action figures. So if you want to do Jada Toys versus Capcom versus Marvel, or Marvel versus Capcom, excuse me, you can add in your Jada Toys figures. Okay, so that's my review of the Marvel Legends Target Exclusive GamerVerse 2-pack of Psylocke versus Thanos. A very awesome set because of Psylocke. Thanos is just okay. If you're a big fan of Thanos, you would probably like it. But Psylocke is obviously the clear highlight of this 2-pack and the one that people really, really want to get. Will Psylocke get her own single release somewhere down the line like everyone seems to be saying? Yeah, it's very possible. Timing will be the thing. It could be soon, could be very long away. So it's just one of those things. If you like the set, I recommend picking it up because I think it can be difficult to get. Most Target exclusives are very hard to get during the pre-order for whatever reason now all of a sudden. And then sometimes hard to get initially at first in stores. Give it a little bit of time and then you probably will be able to get it. I say that for pretty much everyone. The hype around this one has been absolutely insane. Will that be the case here? I honestly don't know. I do recommend getting it. If you see it and you want it, put the effort in to get it. If you can live without it, then obviously don't worry about it. Maybe you'll run across it in the store randomly one day. Sure. But if you really want to add this to your collection, I would say put in all the effort. Check the Target app tonight to see if you could do the order for store pickup. And then be at the store at 8 a.m. Give them the DPCI. Screenshot that barcode from earlier. Have them scan it because it's probably going to be in the back. Then the stores that do this Disney store setup inside the Target over by toys, Marvel is now moving over into that section. Star Wars will be going back to the action figure aisle. So that could be the case. You won't have to look around. So there's all that. If you guys like this video, please let me know what you guys, well, if you like these figures, let me know. If you're picking them up, let me know. If you got your pre-order, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.